Yeah, Udichi. And this is our today's last speaker. She is in grade 6, very enthusiastic girl. She asks always question whenever she does not understand. I think that's the best student's characteristics. When you don't understand, definitely you disturb your teacher. Okay? Or no, I don't say disturb the teacher. You always bug the teacher. Why they
You
are
need
not?
to understand what you're learning.
Okay.
So should I leave the meeting and rejoin?
No, you can. I think that we are good to go.
Okay, should I start?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Okay, so today I'm doing a seminar on music and the mind, and I'm a grade 6 student at G. Brown Middle School, and I'm 11 years old. So before we begin, I just want to show you a little song that I played, a Bengali song that I played on my guitar, just to help calm everybody down right before the presentation. So, there we go.
Excellent. Very good.
So,
Continue. Yeah, great.
thank you. Okay, so now that everybody's settled, so here's my presentation. So what I'm covering in today's presentation is how music affects the mind both academically and emotionally, the application of music therapy in real life, the different genres of music briefly, and the music and the body, music and stress relief. And at the end, we can have questions and discussion, and feel free to stop me in the middle if you have any questions or you're confused about something, so don't hesitate about that. So how does music affect the mind academically? So it affects both the right and left sides of the brain, and I'll explain that a bit later. So it improves the short and long-term memory of somebody, and it makes the brain pay more attention because music engages with the parts of the brain that are related to paying attention. It organizes incoming information, so after listening to music, you're able to organize that information better. And it improves your general brain functions. I also found something that I'd like to share. It's called the Mozart effect. And it's basically, there was a study that showed a couple high school students who listened to some classical songs that were from 200 years ago. And when they listened to it, their cognitive performance was much better and they got more questions right in the allotted period of time. So that just shows you how important it is to students and how it can affect you academically. So as I said before, we're going to take a closer look at the right and left hemispheres of the brain. So let's just do that. Okay, so the left brain is your analytic side, and the right brain is your creative and intuitive side. So your left brain has like analysis, logic, idea, facts, math, training, and your right brain deals with creativity, intuition, arts, creation, feeling, and imagination. And of course, when these two sides are working together, it's much better than just one side working by itself because you have your creative out of the box thinking working with your logical side to solve problems and things like that. So how does music affect the mind emotionally? So music allows your brain to observe the patterns in the song and identify like when the beat's coming in, when the rhythm's coming in. It also can make you feel more confident. So if the lyrics are more motivating or more like things that say like believe in yourself, those things definitely boost your self-esteem when you listen to those songs. And also, music helps you retrieve memories. So let's say a loved one passes away and you listen to a certain song. That same song actually, when you hear it again 5 years later, so you'll remember that time. And so that's how memories are associated with different songs. And also talk about the different parts of the brain that are related to those things. Another thing that I found interesting was that music can affect consumer behavior. So there was a study that showed that there was a wine shop and the French wine outsold the German wine when French music was played, and the German wine outsold the French wine when German music was played. So I found that pretty interesting. Also, shops usually play upbeat and happy tunes just to keep you in the shop longer, so you just enjoy the experience more. That's a tactic that a lot of malls use, which is why people like the experience. So I have a question for everybody. Does anybody know where you can find music therapy in real life?
You mean where to buy?
No, like, yeah, but also what music therapy is. Like, does anybody know anything about it?
Okay, anyone? I know a little bit.
No.
Doesn't listening to music just listening to music count?
Yeah, that's also music therapy if you're doing it at home, but like, do you know where you can find it, like an actual music therapist?
Oh, I mean, as a professional, you mean, where you can find? I think that CMH means that mental health and what is that, the hospital? They have some therapists like that, is?
Yeah. So I'm gonna just move on with the presentation.
Mm-hmm.
So music therapy is the use of music to address the needs in an individual, or it could even be in a group if you're with others. So Sick Kids Music Program is a program that they use in the Sick Kids Hospital to do music therapy for children. I'm not sure about adults, but you can definitely find music therapists with certification to do music therapy. And what music therapy is it's basically everything I've listed here, that such as writing music, composing, listening to melodies, drumming, singing, and performing, and even discussing the lyrics if that makes you, if that relates to you. So if the lyrics are more relatable to you, sometimes it really makes you feel better. And I also have some pictures on the right, so you can see that some elderly people with dementia and Alzheimer's are dancing together because music doesn't have any barriers. So even if you have any diseases, music is for everybody. So it just shows you, like in the top right, I have a woman who's playing music on her guitar for a baby music therapy session. So as I said, I was going to talk about the different genres of music. So there are a couple of different genres, but there's actually a lot that I haven't listed here. So here we have like pop, rock, rap, and jazz. There is also classical, blues, country, and funk. So different types of music affects people in different ways, and it varies from person to person. But one thing that shows is that pop music is upbeat, so it makes people usually feel happy. And the tunes and melodies that are catchy, they release a hormone in your body that I'll talk more about. They also have jazz music. So soothing tunes such as jazz help someone feel less stressed and more healed in terms of well-being because of how calming the music is. So I have a question, another question. Can music relieve stress? So I have one more question.
Yeah, I think so. I am very.
Yes, I think so.
Does anybody know how it relieves stress?
Release some kind of hormone in the brain, yes?
Yeah. So music does relieve stress, so the correct answer is yes. So music relieves stress in different ways. You have it's a powerful stress management tool because it decreases the level of stress hormones, which is a hormone in your body that if you have too much of it, you feel more stressed, and you can see the chart on the right that shows like the different stress levels. Also, listening to music on headphones just before and after surgery can also help reduce your anxiety or depression because music just makes you feel more upbeat. It reduces emotional distress for many people, especially cancer patients, because cancer patients are actually, they go through a lot of things and they definitely go through a lot of surgery, so that's useful for them. And music initiates a relaxation response from your body. So when you listen to music, you immediately loosen up, and that's the effect that music actually has. So you can see this chart over here, and let's continue. So just over here, it shows that if you're inactive and bored, you don't have a lot of stress. Once you're here, you have a healthy tension, so it's not too bad. Here, you're really at your peak level, but you don't have that stress that overwhelms you. And over here, you are so stressed that it's like a disease. You break down from the overwhelming amount of stress you have. So does anybody think music affects the physical body? Like if you fall down and you have to recover, do you think it actually affects music and how it works?
I don't think so. I'll be wrong, but.
Okay, does anybody else know?
Yeah, looks that it does.
Okay, so music and the human body. So music does actually have an effect on your physical human body. So other than hormones, but hormones are pretty important too. So endorphins are a hormone that is actually a hormone that makes you feel happy. So when you're listening to pop music, right, it's more upbeat and catchy. So you feel happier because your body is releasing the endorphin hormones because you're listening to pop music. Music also helps your blood rate, your respiration, regulates your body temperature. It helps if you're feeling nauseous and if you're feeling fatigued. And one other thing that I found pretty cool was if you're like in old age, let's say you're 60 or 70 or even 80, you'll stop falling and you won't trip as much if you listen to more music. And it also helps with stroke recovery, like heart stroke and things like that. So finally, this is really important. So here we have the different parts of the brain. So here we have the amygdala and the nucleus accumbens. And these two parts of the brain are more involved with emotions, although the amygdala is a bigger part of that. Your prefrontal cortex isn't as involved, but as I said before, consumer behavior is affected by music. So that's probably what would happen in the prefrontal cortex. Then you have your motor cortex right here. Your motor cortex is involved with your movement. So let's say you're dancing or playing like a piano, then that's what is reacting to that. Your corpus callosum isn't as important, but it just connects the both sides of the brain. And if you have both sides of your brain working together, as I said before, it's very good for maximizing your learning. Your sensory cortex is right over here, and it controls your tactile feedback while playing an instrument or dancing. So this is just your touch and your feeling. And now we have for auditory cortex. So your auditory cortex is just analyzing the tunes, like is the beat coming in now? Is the rhythm coming in? And it just analyzes all the sounds that you're hearing. Your hippocampus is small, but it's really important. So it's involved in music memories, so experiences, what you remember. So if you As I said before, if someone passes away, that's a huge memory that you will always have, and it will always make you feel sad. So that when you listen to music from that time, your hippocampus brings back and triggers those memories. And now you have your visual cortex. Your visual cortex is basically what it sounds like. It deals with all the visuals. So when you're reading music such as this note here or this eighth note here, you are analyzing those visuals, like what you're seeing on the screen or on the paper. And that's what your visual cortex is all about. So what you're reading or looking at. This could also mean looking at your own dance moves in the mirror or just watching yourself in a recording. Just like in the beginning of this presentation, I was watching myself play the guitar. So the cerebellum is all about movement while dancing and playing an instrument and emotional reactions. So it's kind of a combination of both your motor cortex and your amygdala over here. So the cerebellum is just like both of them. So you have your movement that is analyzing, but it's also involved with your emotional reaction. So I hope you guys enjoyed that presentation. Here are the credits, so where I got all my data from. So if you're interested in this topic, you can go check out these websites and try to learn more about it. And you can ask questions now.
I want to thank you. A great job. You are the last, but I think that you are the champion. It looks. And how do you know about this brain and all the things? And so great presentation.
I researched about it, so I know some of it because I play music myself, but I just like researched about it and how it affects.
My God, you became what? You became scientist, you became doctor, you became everything. Okay, question, everyone.
Does anybody have any questions?
Udichi, তুই যে গানটা গেয়েছিস, the song that you played,
Yeah.
so that is my most favorite song.
Yeah, I said Rabindra Sangeet. I know that one.
Rabindranath Sangeet. It's called Rabindra Sangeet. It's my most favorite song. খুব সুন্দর করেছিস রে।
I just learned it like maybe 2-3 days ago, so I thought I'd add it in this presentation because
it's so good. It was so good.
Udichi,
so nice.
Udichi, sorry. Yeah, it's very good. So, do you want to grow in music and neuroscience?
Well, I'm not gonna make music my career, but it's definitely gonna be a hobby. I don't know about science.
Did I tell you a professor at UFT last time? Probably I did when you said that. So I know a professor who was a piano, not piano, actually violin player, professional. Then he quit that. He went to do PhD in psychology, and then he did PhD. After that, he is a now music therapy professor at University of Toronto. Okay, anyway, other question?
I have a question.
Yes.
Oftentimes when I'm doing a quiz or a test, I'll have one pop song or some other song repeat in my head. Do you think that's our like physical response to stress from the exam?
When you're repeating those songs in your head, that's like not really like a physical response, I would say, because that's probably just like an earworm, something that like you listen to, so you just keep thinking about it. But it's definitely helpful because it might distract you at first, but like it's also letting you focus and it's letting you like do a better, like have a better cognitive performance on the test itself.
Ask question. She is so good in answering as well. Ask question.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do you think that there's a specific genre of music that's like more helpful to you than the others?
Different genres of music they affect you differently, and that varies. Like you just have to find what works for you. Like let's go back to the slide. So over here, I showed like how two different genres have different effects. So soothing tunes for somebody who's feeling really stressed, that might help. But if you're just looking for like something catchy so you can like just dance to it, pop is like your choice. So it's like, what music do you like and how does it affect you? So if you don't really like jazz music, then listening to it is probably not really going to help you because you're not going to like have that relaxation response that comes from your body.
Thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, question, some more. Aditi, Tonu, you do music, so ask some question.
I'm like thinking of questions, but like, do you feel that when you play music, it like relieves your stress?
Sometimes if it's like for certain songs, like Swan Lake is a song that I learned on the guitar, and since it's like a really graceful song, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like something that you can like connect with, I guess, through your fingers. So that makes me feel more relaxed. But when I'm like just playing like a difficult song, it's not always like making me feel relaxed because I'm still learning it.
Do you think that music could have a bad effect on people?
I don't really think so, but I just saw something today, like unpleasant sounds, like unpleasant music, like makes your heart rate like go faster or something or slower. And like it's not really that good for your physical body. So if you don't like the sound that you're listening to and it sounds really bad, then probably don't listen to it.
I have a question. For the for like the notes in a music piece, if you have like a resolution in the at the end or like some other note composition, will it affect the number of endorphins or your relaxation response to your body? Are you laughing? Oh, shoot.
So you're asking like how the amount of endorphins, is that related to like how long the piece is?
No, is the number of endorphins related to like the composition of like the notes, or like it can be in the same genre, but or the resolution?
Yeah, I'm not really sure about that question, but but if that song is like really if it's like Swan Lake, for example, it's like really like graceful, it might not affect, but if it's like really catchy, it's like it releases more endorphins than something that's not that catchy.
But because I just came across like one thing like a long time ago where like if you end with the same note as you did in the beginning, as the note you played in the beginning, it like makes you feel like happy or something like that.
I don't know about that. I don't really know about those things.
Actually, no, that's called a musical resolution. So it's like where you end in the same key or the same note to finish off the song and start a with.
Oh, that's nice. So does it like actually make you feel better, or is it just like something that happens when you play music?
I don't know about it from a scientific standpoint. I just know like for music theory, in terms of music theory, that's what it's called. Just when
Yeah, I'm not sure how that can affect. What I do know is that if you have like a more catchy beat, it does release more endorphins than something that's not like that pleasant to listen to.
Okay, it looks that excellent. This first round is, I would say that the last part was so good. So they say that everything is good if his last part is good. So this Bangladesh সব ভালো যার শেষ ভালো তার কি শেষ ভালো যার সব ভালো তার বুঝতে পারছো? এটা আমি বলবো যে the best presentation you did. Anyway, everyone did their best, and once I listen to anyone's presentation, I think that is the best. However, you did really good, very good. Okay, so we want to close this session and then we will go again, because I'm very enthusiastic about you. Everyone is doing great, and this is one of the type of learning. It's not only the actually learning from others, also learning from each other, also presenting yourself, and develop your skill. Lots of things are here. So we will continue. The Sunday, Saturday will be all our presentation. We will continue. Okay, parents, some of the parents are here. Today we are going to ending the session for the kids. Aloka is always there. So do you want to say something? No. Ashok? Obani?
হ্যাঁ দাদা খুব ভালো অর্গানাইজ করছেন, এটা খুবই ভালো, আর এটা যা করে খুবই এনকারেজিং।
Okay, by the way, all are recorded, almost all are. Some of them are technical problem. So I want to put in YouTube, but I need the permission from the parents and the actually speaker. So I need that. I will send it to all the parents that we want to put on YouTube or some online. If the parents and the speaker permits, then we will do. Okay.
ওকে দাদা।
Okay. Thank you very much. Udichi again. Double thanks. Thank you. See you then
Wait,
next time.
is this meeting gonna happen again, or are we just leaving now?
We will continue. Today meeting is over, but we will
Okay.
continue this presentation. Be prepared for next one. But next one, what I will do, in fact.